There's a good chance you have it in your bathroom right now. Maybe on the nightstand. Maybe in the medicine cabinet. A little pink pill, or a blue one, that you reach for when sleep won't come. It's cheap. No prescription needed. The pharmacist never warned you about it, and you've probably been taking it for months, maybe years. Here's what nobody told you. That pill, the one you're taking to protect your sleep, may be the single biggest threat to your memory sitting in your home right now. My name is Dr. Peter Vale, and today I'm going to show you exactly what that pill does inside your brain while you sleep. What it's been doing quietly, night after night. And, this is the part that matters most, what you can do about it starting tonight. If this channel is new to you, subscribe now. Every week, I cover what your doctor knows but didn't have time to explain. Let's get into it. By the end of this video, you're going to know 3 things. What this pill is actually doing inside your brain, in plain language, no medical jargon. Why the damage sneaks up so slowly that most people never connect the pill to the problem. And the specific steps you can take, tonight, to protect your memory without lying awake until 3 a.m. Stay with me, because what I tell you in the next few minutes changes how you look at that nightstand forever. The pill I'm talking about is diphenhydramine. You know it by other names. Benadryl, ZzzQuil, Unisom sleep tabs, Tylenol PM, Advil PM. If the package says PM, or nighttime, or sleep aid, there's a very good chance diphenhydramine is what's in it. It was originally made as an antihistamine, something to calm allergies and hay fever. Then someone noticed it made people drowsy, and suddenly it became the most widely used over-the-counter sleep aid in the world. Here's the problem. Drowsy and actually sleeping are not the same thing, not even close. And the way this drug creates drowsiness, the actual mechanism inside your brain, is where the real story begins. Your brain runs on chemical messengers. Different chemicals do different jobs. One of the most important ones, especially as we get older, is called acetylcholine. Think of acetylcholine as your brain's learning and memory chemical. Every time you remember a name, follow a conversation, find the word you're looking for, acetylcholine is doing that work. It's the chemical that keeps your thinking sharp and your memory filing system running. Now here's what diphenhydramine does. It blocks acetylcholine directly. That's not a side effect. That's how it works. Drugs that block acetylcholine are called anticholinergics, and diphenhydramine is one of the strongest ones available without a prescription. When acetylcholine gets blocked, your brain slows down. You feel drowsy. You fall asleep. But here's the part nobody explains at the pharmacy counter. When you're younger, in your 30s or 40s, your brain makes plenty of acetylcholine. Blocking some of it for one night doesn't cause lasting damage. Your brain recovers. You wake up, make more, and carry on. After 65, that changes completely. As we age, the brain naturally produces less acetylcholine. It's a slow, gradual drop that starts in our 50s. By the time most people are in their late 60s or 70s, the brain is already working harder just to maintain normal memory function with less of this chemical available. So when you take diphenhydramine and block a significant portion of what little acetylcholine your aging brain has left, you're not just making yourself drowsy for one night, you're running the engine on almost empty, night after night. And here's what I want you to stay with me for, because the next part is the piece that changes how serious this actually is. It's not just one chemical being blocked. There's a specific part of your brain taking the hit, and once I show you which part, you'll understand why the memory loss creeps up so slowly that most people never see it coming. Deep inside your brain, there's a small structure called the hippocampus. Picture a curved shape, roughly the size of your thumb. You have 2 of them, one on each side of the brain. The hippocampus is where new memories are formed before they get stored permanently. Every name you learn, every conversation you have, every appointment you need to remember, it all passes through the hippocampus first. And the hippocampus runs almost entirely on acetylcholine. When diphenhydramine blocks that chemical night after night, the hippocampus is the part of the brain that takes the most damage. Not immediately, not in one night, but over months and years of regular use, the cells in that region start to shrink and weaken from underuse. This is not a theory. A 2016 study published in JAMA Internal Medicine followed more than 3,400 adults aged 65 and older over 10 years. It found that people with high cumulative use of anticholinergic drugs, including diphenhydramine, had a significantly higher risk of developing dementia. The higher the total dose over time, the steeper the risk. A separate 2023 study in the Journal of Geriatric Cognitive Health found that older adults using anticholinergic drugs regularly had a 54% higher risk of dementia compared to people who stayed off them. 54% higher, not from a rare medication, from the pink pill on the nightstand. And here's why it sneaks up. The hippocampus doesn't send you a warning signal. It doesn't hurt. There's no alarm. What happens instead is very gradual. Words take a little longer to come. Names slip a little more often. Following a long conversation gets slightly harder. And every single time it happens, you think it's just age. It might not be age. It might be the pill. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Margaret. 78 years old, retired school librarian from Ohio. Sharp woman, crossword puzzles every morning, read 2 books a month, remembered every grandchild's birthday without writing it down. She came to see me because her daughter was worried. Over the past year and a half, Margaret had started forgetting things. Not dramatically, just words going missing mid-sentence, appointments slipping, repeating questions she'd asked an hour before. Everyone around her called it getting older. In our first appointment, I asked her something nobody had asked before. What do you take to sleep? She pulled out a bottle of Unisom sleep tabs, said she'd been taking 2 every night for about 2 years. Started during a stressful period and just never stopped. The sleep felt better. She didn't see any reason to quit. We talked through the risk. We worked with her doctor to taper off slowly and try other approaches. Within about 3 months, her sleep had stabilized without the pills. 4 months after that, her daughter called me. She said, and I want you to hear this, she's finding her words again. She remembered my son's recital without being reminded. She seems like herself. Margaret told me afterward that no one had ever connected those 2 things for her, the pill and the fog. She'd been taking something every night that she trusted completely, and it had been quietly dimming the lights on her mind for 2 years. That is exactly why I made this video. Now, 2 things I want to be clear about before we get to what you can do. First, not everyone who takes diphenhydramine occasionally will develop dementia. Taking it once for a bad night is not the same as taking it every night for 2 years. The risk builds with cumulative use, total dose over total time. One night is not the issue. Months and years of nightly use is. Second, if you have been taking this regularly, do not stop suddenly on your own. Stopping abruptly can cause a rebound effect where sleep gets significantly worse before it gets better. Any change to what you're taking should be done with your doctor's guidance. I'll tell you exactly what to bring to that conversation in a moment. Now, what actually works instead? The most well-studied non-drug approach for sleep in older adults is something called CBT-I, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia. It sounds complicated. It isn't. It's a structured set of habits and thought patterns around sleep that research consistently shows outperforms sleep medication, not just in the short term, but long term. A large review published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that CBT-I improves sleep quality in 70 to 80% of people with chronic insomnia, with results that lasted years after the program ended. No pills, no side effects, no memory risk. There are also safer medication options if medication is truly needed. Your doctor may consider melatonin at low doses or a very low dose of doxepin, a different type of medication that does not block acetylcholine the way diphenhydramine does and carries significantly less cognitive risk for older adults. The point is, there are options, real ones. You do not have to choose between sleep and your memory. Here is exactly what to do after this video. 1. Check the label on everything you take for sleep, including anything marked PM, nighttime, or sleep aid. If diphenhydramine is listed as an ingredient, that is the pill we talked about today. Write it down. 2. Think honestly about how long you've been taking it and how often. One night occasionally is very different from nightly use for months. The length of time matters. 3. At your next doctor's appointment, bring it up directly. Say, I've been taking diphenhydramine for sleep, and I want to talk about the cognitive risk and what my alternatives are. That one sentence opens the right conversation. Your doctor knows about CBT-I, they know about safer alternatives, but they need you to bring it to the table because a routine appointment rarely has room for it unprompted. 4. If you want to start better sleep habits tonight without waiting for an appointment, start with the basics that CBT-I is built on. Same bedtime every night. Same wake time every morning, even weekends. No screens for 45 minutes before bed. Keep the bedroom cool and dark. These sound simple, they work, and they work without touching your memory. 5. If you've noticed word finding getting harder, names slipping more often, or a general fogginess over the past year or two, and you've been taking a sleep aid regularly, bring both of those things to your doctor together. Don't let anyone tell you it's just age until this possibility has been ruled out. Your memory is not just getting older on its own timeline. It is responding to what you put in your body every single night. And something as small as a $2 pill from a drugstore shelf can change that timeline in ways that take years to show up and that most people never trace back to the source. Now you know what to look for. If this gave you something your appointments never did, subscribe to Dr. Peter Vale Senior Signals and hit like on this video. That is how we reach more people who are taking this same pill tonight without knowing what it's doing. Share this with someone you know who reaches for a sleep aid before bed. It might be the most useful thing you send them this year. I'll see you in the next one.